Good morning. Come on in. Come on in and set a spell with me. It is New Year's Eve. Can you believe it? Tomorrow is 2026. I don't even know where 2025 went. It's been such a whirlwind. There's been so much going on. I'm hoping that for everyone that's watching this, you've all gotten through this year. Pat yourself on the back because no matter what life threw at you, you worked your way through it. And here we are going into 2026 together. So, how are we going to start 2026? Well, I have a Temu order that's about 2 days away, maybe 3 days away from being delivered, and then a second one right on its heels. So I do have those orders coming. Today we're going to do my last order, not last forever, the last one I have here from Whatnot, and that's from DivaDog. I'm going to share with you a recipe that a bunch of you asked for. So as you can see, I still have my apron on. I have been cooking, baking all morning, and yeah, I got something sitting right next to me that I have to really use all my willpower not to touch it until it's time. So you're going to get a recipe. Miss Nala is down there on the floor behind me. She's doing fine. As you can see, the couch has been changed over. We're not in holiday mode anymore within the house. However, outside, those decorations are still up. And guess what, guys? I didn't even know it. Somebody, my neighbors, whatever, entered me in a contest for the best holiday decor, and your girl won. But I'm a little private and a bit humble when it comes to things like that. So I let the community leaders know that thank you, but I didn't enter the contest and that I wanted the prize to go to someone who actually did enter the contest. Okay. So anyway, I was very flattered to win first prize, but as I said, I didn't enter the contest, and I feel that it's only fair that the prize go to someone who actually did officially enter the contest and let them have that. So that'll be my Christmas gift slash New Year gift to someone in my community, right? You would expect something else. Come on, that's who I am, right? Okay, let's start off right off the bat because this thing that's sitting here next to me, my house right now smells amazing. I went outside in the backyard with Nala. It's very cold outside right now. It's only in the 40s, and that's like 20 degrees cooler than what it should be this time of year here. But when I opened the door and came back in, all I could smell was these dang cookies that I had baked this morning. So you know what? We might as well get right into it. Here you go. Let's make some oatmeal raisin cookies. You guys requested it, so that's what we're going to do. This is a pretty simple recipe. I've got everything set out that I need. Pretty much everything you're going to probably already have in your house, except for you might have to go out and get the oatmeal and or the raisins. 2 large eggs. That's what we're starting with. And I always try to start with the eggs so that I can pluck out any shells that I might accidentally get in there. Even these little tiny microscopic pieces of one, which I got. All right. Just give them a quick stir, break them up a little bit. Makes it easier if you do this in advance. All right. 1 teaspoon baking powder. Where's my teaspoon? Level it off. I wish all the cans came with things like this, but 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon cinnamon. I got eggs on my hand. Hold on. Oh my goodness. All right. 1 teaspoon cinnamon. close enough. Doesn't have to be exact. Especially in this recipe, if you go a little more, a little less, a little spill over, that's fine. Vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon. There's a lot of ones in this. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. You can use imitation vanilla, which is fine. I prefer the vanilla extract. It's more natural, but you can use the imitation if you find that it's cheaper, more affordable for you. All right, butter. Soft butter. This is light. This is real butter, but it's light butter. There you go. And we're going to do 1 cup of butter. Get out a knife. So we need a full cup of butter. And unfortunately, my cup measurer is in the dishwasher. So we'll use the 1/2 cup, which is fine. That's not a problem. If you don't have softened butter, then just soften it for about 10 seconds in the microwave. Do not let it get warm, though. That's important that it not be warm. It just be softened. Soften it in advance if you need to by leaving the butter sit out on the counter for a little bit. There we go. That makes up our cup of butter. Okay, brown sugar. Brown sugar, we're going to use 2/3 cup of brown sugar. Set that aside. 2/3 cup. And make sure it's packed. Easy to do, guys. Oatmeal raisin cookies are not hard. All right. You want 2/3 cup. I'm using a 1/3 cup. Make sure it's packed. That's 1/3. Yeah, we went a little bit over, but that's okay. Once you pack it down, as we use up the rest. Because I can pack it in. There we go. 2/3 cup brown sugar. Before you go any further, give this a little bit of a stir. Break it down. I use a rubber spatula for this because it's more effective than using a whisk. With a spatula, you can actually press the ingredients together and kind of cream that butter a little bit more, which is what you want to make sure that you do. Okay, now we need 2/3 cup of regular sugar. Same process. 2 different flavors of sugar, and that's my secret. I use 2 different sugars. So that's 1/3, 2/3. Let's get this all mixed together. Oatmeal raisin cookies, guys. A lot of you requested this. I even got a couple emails that said, please, 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 please do oatmeal raisin cookies. Okay. So these are going to be my New Year's Eve treat because today is New Year's Eve. Can you believe it? 2025 is done. Tomorrow we wake up, it'll be 2026. And let's hope we all have a much better new year. All right, so you can see how that's broken down nicely. Now we're going to add the last 3 ingredients, which is our flour, our oats, and our raisin, in that order. We're going to do our flour first. And our flour is 1 cup. That's a 1/2 cup. And I always make sure it's level and packed. There's the half cup. Okay, that's done. Let's get this mixed around. This is where your batter is going to start getting creamier and thicker. But you gotta get that flour mixed in good before you add any other ingredients. You can do this in a stand mixer if you want to. I decided not to because my stand mixer is on the other side of the kitchen. And I didn't have a place really to set the phone. So we're doing this the old-fashioned way. Do not use an electric beater on this though, because that will overwork the batter if you use a hand beater, an electric beater on this. All right, you can see we're nice and smooth now. All the flour is incorporated. Make sure that you've been scraping the sides as you go. So you've got a nice smooth batter. Now we're going to add our oats, and I've already portioned them out. We've got 3 cups of oats. And I did use the packets, guys. But be careful because different brands like Quaker versus any other brand, there may be a different amount in the packets. So make sure you still use a measuring cup and measure them out. So let's add these oats in. Get the oats folded in. And this is where your arm starts to really get a workout. Which is good, because if you're my age, your arms need a workout. But you can take your time. You don't have to rush. It doesn't have to be vigorous. It just has to be blended. And your batter's getting nice and thick. Doesn't take long to mix these in. All right. How's that looking so far? Pretty good, right? And the last thing we need is 1 cup of raisins. If you are a raisin lover, you can go up to 1.5 cup of raisins if you wish. 1.5 cup will make it very, very raisiny. But I find that 1 cup is more than enough. And this you want to make sure you get mixed in really, really well. You don't want some cookies with no raisins and other cookies with all the raisins, right? But guys, if you're putting this on a cookie sheet and you see a cookie that looks like it doesn't have a lot of raisins, just grab your supply of raisins and stick a few extra down in there. But as you can see, 1 cup gets quite a bit of raisins in there. Okay, that is all there is to this. The next step, because we used oats, and this is a key step, we're going to let this sit and rest for 10 minutes. We want the oats to absorb the moisture that's in here from the eggs and the vanilla, because that's really the only moisture that's been put in here. We want that to rest. So typically I just cover it lightly and let it set for 10 minutes, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. While that's resting, preheat your oven to 375 degrees and get your cookie sheet ready, ungreased cookie sheet, because remember, this has butter in it. We'll be right back. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. We are now ready to put everything on our pans. This makes 36. It can make more or less depending on the size of the cookies, but on average it makes 36. I've got 2 sheets, cookie sheets left. My oven will hold 2 cookie sheets. We're going to drop these by tablespoons onto our cookie sheet, and not heaping tablespoons, just a tablespoon. And you can see they're very sticky. Just drop them by tablespoons in little blobs. You got to put them probably about 1 inch or so apart because they will spread. No need to press them down. No need to shape them. It goes pretty quickly. And as you can see, by using 2 spoons, the bigger spoon for size, the smaller spoon for push, nothing is going to stick to your hands. Don't worry if they're not 100% even. That's okay. These will spread, so you don't want to put them too close together. Dropping raisins everywhere. But at about this size, you'll get about 36. If you don't have an even amount, you can pull some off a cookie that maybe you think was a little bit too big. You put a little too much batter on there. But what's happened in the 10 minutes is that the oats have all been soaked up into the liquids. You see how quickly this part goes. This is the easiest part of the whole thing. Doesn't take any hand strength. Okay, and I still have batter left to make at least another half dozen, almost another dozen. But these are going to go in the oven, 375, 9 to 11 minutes. Okay, it's been 11 minutes. Time to take our cookies out. The cookies should be just browned on the edges ever so slightly. You can see the browning around the edges of them. We're going to take these out and we're going to let them cool for 10 minutes. You can put them on a cooling rack or you can leave them in the pan for 10 minutes and they'll be done. I ended up getting 40 out of this batch because of the size that I made them. And so you can actually see the size in my hand. That's the size. Not super big, not super small, but soft. Can you see how soft? Look at that. Oatmeal raisin cookies. You got to make these, guys. Seriously. It takes longer to gather your ingredients than it does to put them together. But you do need to put them together in the order that I did. You've got to save your oats, your flour, and your raisins as the last thing. So start with your eggs, your liquids, get everything blended as I showed you. Put everything together, get it well mixed, start to get it creamed, get that butter further softened. All right. And make sure you don't heat your butter. You let it soften, but you don't want to melt it into liquefy. So do not liquefy your butter. That's very important. When you get to the last 3 ingredients, you make sure you get that flour folded in beautifully, then get those oats blended in, and at the very end, get your raisins and it's important that you let it sit at least 10 minutes. You can let it sit for up to a half an hour as long as it's covered. It does not have to be refrigerated, but leave it rest on the countertop at room temperature. Do not put it in the refrigerator. All right. What will happen is those dehydrated oats are going to start to absorb all the liquids that you put in, and that's going to bulk up your dough. So I don't know if you noticed the difference from before I covered it and when I uncovered it, but you could see that the volume was a little fuller And that's what happens when you let it rest. It also comes to room temperature, which makes it a lot easier to spoon it down onto your baking sheets. Now, if you don't have parchment paper, do not grease your pan because there's butter in this recipe. Just put them straight on your cookie sheet. And it doesn't matter if you're using a light colored cookie sheet or a dark colored cookie sheet. You're going to cook them anywhere, depending on your oven, from 9 to 11 minutes, maybe even 12 minutes. I set my oven at 10 minutes and then I check them and I'm looking for brown. I'm looking for that golden color right where it meets the pan towards the bottom edges and a little bit on the peaks. That's what I'm looking for. If you don't see that, leave them bake 2 more minutes, check them again. Still don't see it? 2 more minutes, check it again. Never go more than 2 minutes at a time because they'll hit a certain point that all of a sudden they'll just brown up. And you don't want to burn these. These came out beautiful. Look at the bottom. Nicely browned, right? But still soft and chewy. And yes, I am going to eat that. Okay, so that is the oatmeal cookies. As I said, I ended up with 40. If you make them a little bit bigger, you'll end up with less. I did not press them down. I just spoon them and let them go. Oatmeal cookies, you really don't want to press them and compact them because that makes it harder for the batter on the inside to really cook thoroughly. And you want to make sure that these cook thoroughly. Okay? All right. Let's get into this order from DivaDog. Okay. And I got to tell you, this is the first time that this side of the desk on the floor has been completely devoid of any boxes or orders or packages from Whatnot or any place else. It's the first time ever. On this side, you can't see it, but on this side is where I have stacked all the boxes that I'm getting ready for the future giveaways. So I have a kitchen box on the, a children's box on the bottom, the kitchen box, the cat box, and I have a random dog box. And we'll talk about that in another video. But let's get on to DivaDog. You might remember in the last video, she sent me a Christmas card. Is that not the sweetest thing ever? All right. There's not a lot in here, but we're going to get through this. Hold on a second. And I know there's something in here that's kind of like after the fact, but that's okay. All right. Let's get it. Falling all over the place. Let's get into this. This is just all packing. I want you to see. This is how much packing she put in there to make sure everything was in there perfectly. And these are not just plastic. These are bags. So I'm saving these because these will come in very handy for little trash bags. That's just how much she does. All right. Cookies. There's only about 5 things or so in here. Creamy blueberry cookies. Now, you saw me get her the animal version of the chocolate ones. A couple of you thought they were real chocolate. Guys, no. These are pet friendly. Okay? These are animal cookies. There's no real chocolate, no real anything that would be harmful to the animals in here. But this is the sleeve. Oh, she's like right here on my hip. This is the sleeve of the blueberry flavored cookies. This sleeve, believe it or not, sells on average for about $8. These are not cheap cookies. When you get human grade quality cookies for a dog, they're expensive. All right, let's see. Oh, these are the cutest little things. And they're blueberry. Oh, they smell like blueberries. Where'd you go, Miss Nala? Does Nala want a cookie? She's back there on her bed. Do you want a cookie? Here. You want a cookie? She's not sure. All right. She does the sniff and the take. She's chomping down on it now, and I'm sure she'll want another one. I figured if I'm having cookies, she might as well have cookies, right? Okay. So $4 for that. I got it for half price. I got her another one of these little beef chips. This typically sells for like $1.49. They're not seriously expensive. It's just dehydrated beef. It's a little beef patty, but I got it for $1. She's going to like that. Puppy Scoops. This is ice cream mix for dogs. And what's this flavor? Oh, this is, look at this, maple bacon flavor right there. Maple bacon flavor. Now, you've seen me get the other ice cream scoops for the dogs. She absolutely loves these, but I don't give her the whole thing. I give her like a tablespoon, and I'll just scoop it out and I'll put it in her food dish. She doesn't get food from me. She might get a treat like this by hand, but other than that, she gets everything out of her dishes so that she's not scrounging from my dishes. But this ice cream, this is a little one. This sells for $5.29 at the lowest price I could find it, but I got it for $3. It's a good deal. You simply just add water to it, blend it up, put it back into this cup, put it in the freezer for a couple of hours. She's got a nice cold treat. And by the way, guys, all the cookies that I made for her, the peanut butter oatmeal cookies for her and the regular oatmeal cookies for her are in the freezer. She gets one a day and she loves them. She sees me pull out that blue cookie tin and she's immediately sitting and giving me her paw. So she absolutely loves those. All right, we got another pig ear, but this one is bacon cheddar flavor. They call this a loaded pig ear. This basically is all natural. It's just been dipped to get that flavor into it. Two great tastes that dog love in one. It's no rawhide, no GMOs, all natural, no grains added to it. This is a South American pig ear, and it's real cheddar cheese from the USA. The ingredients are pork hide, cheddar, cheese. That the bacon flavor comes from the ear itself. So this pig ear typically sells for anywhere from $4.49 to $6.49, but I got it for $4. Still less than retail, still a better deal than the average price. She loves this. She gets one maybe every couple of weeks. I try not to give her too much of those types of treats because of the natural oils and things. I don't want to overwhelm her system with it. All right. Real chicken. NutriChomps, rawhide free, high protein. These are wraps. Let's see what it says on here. Made with real chicken, vitamin and minerals, enriched, no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. So this is real chicken. Rawhide free. There's no rawhide in here. Rawhide free. These sticks, they're chomps. They typically sell for about $7.50. There's 4 of them in here. These, if you have an extreme chewer, they might go through this in 5 minutes. Nala's a chewer, but she's kind of delicate about it. She's had quite a few teeth removed because of her being born with a cleft palate. So unfortunately, her teeth were all in different directions when she was a puppy. So she's missing a lot of the important teeth that she needs to chomp. She still chomps, but she takes her time. So this sells for about $7.50, anywhere from $7.50 to $9, and I got this pack for $4. It's a good deal. $1 a stick. I think that's a good deal. All right. And the last thing in the box, better late than never, an advent calendar. This sells for $14.95. All right. But I got it for $1 because I got it so close to Christmas, there wasn't time to go through all these days. However, what I'm going to use it for is a countdown to her birthday, because Nala's birthday is February 9th. Okay, just in case you're wondering, she's going to be 10 years old. So we're going to use this to count down for her birthday. And when, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 days before her birthday is when we're going to start. And that's what we're going to use it for. You can always use these. Ingredients: flour, peanut butter, peanut flour, rye flour, brewer's dried yeast, wheat bran flour, and mixed, can't even tell what that is, mixed flavors. This is very high in protein, not high in fats. It's got a good amount of fiber. So calorie content, not that bad. Very low. Feed is an anytime treat. Store in a cool, dry place. I'm just going to have to store these any place she won't get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to store it on the kitchen counter, under the microwave, standing up on the little backsplash ledge, so I can just pop open each one when it comes time to start. So I'll just count backwards. The day 25 will be her actual birthday, and I'll count backwards up to that. And that's when she's going to get these. So all different types of treats, cute little doggies in the windows, but $14, $14 and change. Did I say $14.95? And I got it for $1. That's Miss DivaDog. There's no expiration date on this, guys, by the way, just in case you were wondering. This did not expire at Christmas time. Does it even have an expiration date? March 17th, 2026. It'll be gone by February 9th. So I'm not too worried about it. And that's a best buy date, not an expiration date. So that takes care. She's laying down here right next to me going, I know that's for me, Mom. So that was an order actually from a show on November 30th. That box has been sitting here since December 10th, and I haven't gotten it done. But Miss DivaDog is still going to get 5 stars. Wow. It's just, yeah. I haven't been and whatnot to shop in a few weeks. I have another bunch of items in my cart at Temu. Little Miss Pushy's down here going, Mom, I want more blueberry cookies, which she's not going to get right now anyway. I have to go clean my kitchen. But there was one small project that I was working on over the past couple of days, and that was getting my bathroom storage cubbies organized. This was a disaster because when I first moved in, I was just throwing everything that I could think of that I might need for the bathroom into that sections cabinets. So I had the bigger bottom section, which initially was going to be like a broom closet on the bottom, but I mismeasured. That was my fault. That was on me, not on the builder. And it was too low for broom handles or mop handles or anything along those lines. So I had to come up with different ideas for that. And then I had the 2 shelves, but the very top shelf goes all the way up 11 feet to the peak of the ceiling. So it's very empty up there. Well, I finally got a little discouraged or disgusted or just had enough of it looking cluttered and being full and being disorganized. So I attacked it the other day. I pulled everything out. I wiped down all the shelves. And then the first thing I did was I put in this little shelf. I'll put the pictures up here somewhere. I put in the little shelf that I got from Temu, and this is an adjustable shelf. I may actually invest in another one. Now, this shelf will not hold a lot of weight, but towels don't weigh a lot. So I installed the shelf, very easy to do. The very, very bottom of the cabinet is where I put one of my little cubes that I use to hold medical things like knee braces, wrist braces, back massager, that type of thing. Things that I don't need all the time, but I wanted to keep relatively handy. So that's in the bottom cube. I also added all my paper products, all my Kleenex, my tissues down in the bottom, and all my TP is also down in the bottom. Under the shelf, room to spare. I could add a whole nother 12-pack of TP in there if I wanted to, or I could add another shelf to put something different on. Then the shelf, I put my pool towels or my beach towels on, separated those out. And then next to it, I put my kitchen towels so that I have my kitchen hand towels and I have my kitchen cloths down at that level. I can just reach in and grab them. And that was just a matter of folding things a little bit differently to get them to fit on the shelf. Plenty of room. The shelf holds them. No weight. The shelf is not moving. So the space above it, I was able to put all my bottles of lotion, shampoo, conditioners, that type of things, and my regular bathroom hand towels, right? So that when I'm at my sink in my bathroom, or if I'm outside working and I need a hand towel, that's where my hand towels are, not my dishcloths. So that went on that shelf with room to spare, which is good because I am getting a pullout that I can put all those bottles of lotion and everything in. I'm going to get a pullout and I can add some things from underneath the bathroom sink up into that cubby space. So I'm making the most use of that. And as you can see, it's nowhere near as full and falling out as it was before I started reorganizing. The top, I had always decided that what the top was going to be for. The top is the perfect size for pillow storage. So my extra throw pillows that I only pull out at certain times of the year, like the ones that are designated for Halloween or fall, that aren't just pillow covers, that are actually pillows without interchangeable colors. Right now I've got 3 of them stacked in there, but there's also room because it goes 11 feet high. I can stack any other extra pillows, blankets, linens, anything that I'm not worried about it falling down on my head can go up into that top cubby and I can stack all the way to the roof if I need to. I have a step stool, so it'd be easy enough for me to get up there if I need to. So I took a disorganized, immense amount of storage space, utilized it the best way, reorganized it. Some of you have said, Connie, how are you fitting all this stuff in your tiny home? You know, it's how you use your space. I'll give you a hint, guys. One of the best ways to store anything is make use of your vertical storage. If you can't store things this way, go up. Store things up. Install shelves where there aren't no shelves. See how I put these temporary shelves up here with the dog pictures? Eventually, once I put the finishing on the living room walls, I'm going to put an entire solid shelf that goes all the way across these 2 windows. That shelf I will be able to get decor up onto and get it off of my tabletops, make more space, make more use up on the walls. Same thing on this wall. At the 8-foot mark right there where it meets the ceiling, I'm going to come all the way across with a huge shelf. All right, I'm going to put up a 10-foot shelf, 10 inches wide. It'll probably have 3 or 4 supports underneath it to make sure. I'm going to get things up so I have an extra storage space to put things or to display things. Look around your house. Look in your cabinets. You've seen me organize my pantry, right? Where I added baskets that clip onto the shelf and hang down under the shelf. You saw me put a pullout in my pantry. I'm getting another pullout to put in a different section of the pantry because my pantry is L-shaped and it goes back on one side almost 36 inches. I have to lean all the way in up to my shoulder to reach what's in the back. I'm going to be putting those things into a pullout so that I don't have to reach. You can just slide them forward and be able to get to them. So what can you organize better? what can you take a look in your cabinets. Can you add a shelf? I'm going to be adding a shelf into my cabinets on either side of the microwave because they only came with one shelf. But I've got a lot of wasted space above there where I can put some things that I use from time to time, but not on a daily basis. That way I have them, they're easy to access, they're out of the way, and they clean up space elsewhere. So look around the house. I will talk in a different video about downsizing, and I'll show you some more of the things that I've gotten for organizing. You've already seen my under the bed storage where I have those pullouts on wheels under the bed. You saw that closet system that I put in to where I barely even need to have a dresser anymore because of that closet system. I made use of all the space in the closet as opposed to having one single rod. If that's all you have in your closet, you have a lot of wasted space, right? So you can downsize and make more room simply by getting more organized. If you have a spot, and I'm going to do what I can to help you out, guys. If you have a spot in your house that's an absolute disaster, send me a picture of that spot. Email me right here, konneeslittlecorner@gmail.com. Send me a picture. Say, hey, I need help organizing this. And send me pictures so I can get a good idea. If it's a closet or a cabinet, send me measurements. All right. I will let you know what I see as far as how you can reorganize that to make it neat, orderly, better use of the space, and free up some space. All right. You guys all know I got you, right? Okay. That's it. Short video, nothing too long today. Miss Nala, as you can see, she's doing fine. She knows her spot. I have not been paying attention to what she's been doing in the background. I'm sure some of you have. And I know y'all watch her, but that's because you love her and she is a sweetheart. She's doing very well. I did remeasure her. She's lost an inch here or there. So I'm hoping that's going to equate to some sort of a little bit of a weight loss. But we have full 2 months. She goes back to the vet early March. We'll weigh her again. We'll do her senior blood test, which is basically a full blood scan checking everything: liver function, kidney function, thyroid function, everything. So we get a good baseline. She'll be 10 in February. That's the perfect time to do it. If you have a senior dog, make sure you get a senior blood work done so that you know this is the time when your dog's systems really start to change, just like us. Think of it as after we go through menopause, our bodies change. They get between 8 and 10 years old, depending on the breed, their bodies change. So get them checked out. But in the meantime, thumbs up. Hype this. Y'all been doing great with the hypes. I absolutely love that you're doing that for me. For some of you, it's a lot easier than just hitting that share button and sharing it on your Facebook or whatever the case may be. But definitely get that out there to the universe. And if you're not yet subscribed to Connie's Little Corner, come on in. The water's fine. You're going to get a lot more recipes, guys. I've got 3 more recipes sitting here. I pulled out my recipe cards. All right. Hash browns, my spinach quiche, and chocolate chip cookies. Now, yes, I know a lot of you have asked for the spinach lasagna, my aunt's recipe. I am waiting for something from Temu because, as I told you, I want to make that when I make my noodles from scratch. When I make my noodles, then we'll do the recipe. Okay? And I know you guys are not going to make your noodles from scratch, but I am. I've got to do it justice because that's how she made them. So in the meantime, while waiting, stay hydrated. Above all else, please stay sweet. Y'all have a marvelous, happy, safe New Year's Eve tonight, wherever you may celebrate. I'll be watching the New Year's Eve celebrations around the world on the TV set. Nala does not react to firecrackers, thunderstorms, anything along those lines. And I think the reason is because she's got some diminished hearing. Either way, it's a blessing that she does not react to it. So have a beverage of choice to celebrate your New Year's. Have fun. And we will see you in 2026. Bye, guys.